If you're buying new construction in Las Vegas, there's one part of the process where I see a lot of buyers lose money and they don't even notice until it's too late. Today, I'm breaking down exactly where it happens, why it happens, and what you could do to protect yourself before signing anything. New construction is extremely popular here in Las Vegas and Henderson, Nevada. Buyers love the idea of a brand new home, energy efficient, modern designs, and builder incentives. But after years of helping my clients buy new construction, from entry-level new communities to ultra-modern and luxury custom homes, I see the same mistakes being repeated over and over again. These are not rookie mistakes. These are things smart and successful buyers miss because no one explains them upfront. Loss point number 1, design center and builder upgrades. Here's what happens. You walk into the design center studio. Everything is beautiful. You're like a kid in a candy shop and you want everything. And then suddenly, you're spending tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars that you did not plan for. Here are things that buyers don't account for. Builder upgrade pricing is significantly higher than retail price. Let me give you an example. My buyers and I just recently finished a design center appointment for a new construction home in Summerlin West. They were quoted $40,000 to do wood paneling in the vaulted ceiling in the great room. Don't you love wood paneling in the ceilings? I see it a lot in the model homes and your eyes are just drawn up to the ceilings and it's absolutely beautiful. But would you pay $40,000 for that upgrade with the builder? I had a client who did the exact same wood paneling on their ceiling after closing and it costed them only $20,000 to do that upgrade. That's 50% off if they were to do it through the builder versus doing it themselves after closing. Now, one thing to note is that all these upgrades that you'll be doing after closing will need to be paid in cash. You cannot roll it into your loan as if you were to do the design upgrades through the builder. Many upgrades don't add dollar for dollar resale value. So let me explain that. It's always important to keep in mind the resale value of any upgrade you make into your home. Most likely, this new construction home is not your forever home, so you'll have an opportunity to resell it. My pro tip is to make sure you make these upgrades that is appealing to the masses. In my opinion, structural upgrades such as floating staircase if you have a 2-story home or a multi-stack slider that opens up that creates a beautiful indoor and outdoor experience are great investments. Design center upgrades such as selecting a quartzite material instead of a quartz material for your kitchen counter and upgrading it into a waterfall edge will certainly create a wow factor for your brand new kitchen. Just so you know, and I have a lot of my buyers ask me this question, Kaori, what is the difference between quartzite and quartz countertops? So let me explain that to you. Quartzite is 100% natural stone, formed when sandstone is transformed with pressure and heat. Each slab is completely different, so the design that you see in the model of a very small sample is not a real good representation of what that looks like. You'll actually have to visit the tile shop and select the slab that you want. They usually give you a few options to choose from, and every quartzite looks differently, so you have to take your time and see which one you like the most. Quartz, on the other side, is man-made and it's an engineered stone made from crushed natural quartz mixed with resin and pigments. It's designed to be consistent, so every slab looks the same, and it is also very low maintenance. Quartzites are more expensive than quartz, and it definitely brings a unique characteristic to each spaces. Choosing the material of your countertop, whether it's quartz or quartzite, is a very large decision, so make sure you take your time and do your due diligence. Some must-have upgrades can be done later after closing for less money. Let's say you want to epoxy your 3-car garage. The builder offers it, but they offer it for $5,000. Did you know that here in Las Vegas, you could get your 3-car garage epoxied for half the price at $2,500 after closing? That's what I recommend all of my buyers. Wouldn't you want to save that 50% and maybe allocate that additional $2,500 on storage or hanging shelves in the same garage? I would. I've seen buyers invest $150,000 to $300,000 in builder upgrades without understanding the long-term value. At the end of the day, and I cannot stress this enough to you, you need to hire an experienced and knowledgeable buyer's agent that is is experienced in new construction so they can share with you all this information so you can make the best decision for your family. And that is what I do with my buyers. I attend all of the design center appointments and I would share with them what makes sense to do it with the builder versus doing things after closing if they have allocated the budget for that DIY project. For all of my buyers buying new construction home, I attend their design center appointments so that I could be their soundboard. I am there to listen to them and answer any of the questions they may have. And most of these questions that my buyers have are, Kaori, does it make sense to do this upgrade with the builder? Or does it make sense to do it after closing and save almost 30 to 50%? Here are my pro tips before heading into a design center appointment. My biggest advice when my clients go in and schedule a design center appointment is to make sure they have an internal budget in mind before they step foot into that beautiful design center. Discuss internally ahead of time how much you're comfortable spending at the design center. On average, buyers will typically spend 15 to 20% of the base price of the home in design center upgrades. If the house is $500,000, that is anywhere between $75,000 to $100,000 in design center upgrades. Conservative buyers will spend less than 15%. And I actually have one buyer that just went under contract for a new construction home in Summerlin West, and he had budgeted only 6% of the base price. Then I have other buyers that want their home to be absolutely beautiful like the model homes and spend well over 20% of the base price. Let's say your incredible buyer's agent, aka me, had negotiated $100,000 in the purchase agreement for your new construction home. Then you would need to think about your budget internally on how much more you're willing to spend above the $100K design center credit. As I mentioned earlier, it's very important to note that all the design center upgrades that you make with the builder will be rolled into your loan in the event you're getting a mortgage for this new construction home. If you choose to do these upgrades after closing because you're going to save a lot of money, then you will need to pay for those upgrades by cash. I cannot stress this enough for my buyers. Always see what's included in the standard package first before you start upgrading all the materials. A lot of my buyers are pleasantly surprised to see that they're happy with some of these standard materials that are included in the base price of your home. For example, I have a lot of buyers that are a big fan of Toll Brothers communities because their standard packages are typically upgrades from other builders and other communities. For example, their standard tile that comes in different colors, gray, beige, and white, those standard tiles by Toll Brothers are usually an upgrade for another builder in another community. And all these standard tile would be placed in the wet areas. Wet areas including the entryway, kitchen, bathroom, and laundry room. I've also had buyers in my experience that chose all standard finishes for their home because they were completely happy with all the standard finishes and materials from that particular builder. By the way, if we haven't met yet, konnichiwa, my name is Kaori Nagao, your global real estate advisor helping you find your new home. Whether it's a new construction home or a resale home anywhere in the world, I'll be more than happy to help you. Remember, I have Sotheby's referral partners in every city, every market, so feel free to reach out to me for any of your real estate needs. Let's connect. Scan the QR code on my screen, or you could find my contact details in the description below. I love it when you engage with me, so keep commenting and let's keep going. Lost point number 2, lot premiums and location within the community. Lot premiums are another major blind spot. On top of the base price of the home, there is typically a lot premium added based on where your home site sits within that particular community. Buyers assume, oh, this is just the lot premium, the lot price. But what they don't realize is that there's a lot more to why each lot premium are priced that way. Each lot premium is based on the size, location, views, elevation, orientation, noise, and location within the community. Not all premiums hold value equally. Let me repeat. Not all premiums hold equal value. Builders assign lot premiums for many reasons. But resale buyers value lot premium very differently than builders. For example, a $50,000 premium for being closer to the model, a $40,000 premium for a slightly wider lot, a $75,000 premium for a premium location inside the community. At resale, buyers don't care if you were close to the model homes. They care about what they see, live, and feel each day in that particular home. Some premiums are emotional or market-driven, not value-driven. Some premiums are based on builder demand and not resale reality. Builders price premiums based on the following: how fast lots are selling, which releases are in highest demand, and how many options they have left. What buyers today are willing to pay. This has very little to do with future appraisal, comparable resale sales, what the secondary market will reward. A builder may charge $75,000 on a lot because that's the last lot in their community, not because the lot will be worth $75,000 more when you sell. Remember, when you're reselling, appraisers do not look at what the builders charge you for the lot premium. They're only focused on comparable resale comps in that particular neighborhood. Now let's talk about views, elevation, and orientation because they matter a lot to my buyers. Views are important for my buyers. Here in Las Vegas, we have so many options when it comes to views. So let me share that with you. Strip views, city views, mountain views, golf course views, and even lake views. In areas like Summerlin West, where there is a high elevation, you may be lucky to get both strip views as well as mountain views. Views that typically hold value are a true unobstructed Las Vegas strip view, city skyline views, mountain or canyon views, water or golf views. And yes, we have water views in Lake Las Vegas and Henderson. Now, there are views that do not hold that much value, and those include partial views, or how I like to call it, peekaboo or partial strip views, temporarily open land, future phase views, overlooking rooftops or into other communities. It's important to note that the builders do not promise any views when they're selling these home sites. They just cannot guarantee it. Resale buyers pay for views that actually exist, especially after a new construction community is fully built out. You know what to expect, and you're not guessing on how that new construction home in front of you will look like and whether that will block any of your views. Now let's talk about elevation and why that would be important for you when selecting a home site. Let's talk about the elevation in and around your community. Is your home site on an elevated lot? Are the homes next to you, are they on the same elevation, or are you slightly higher? Is your community the most elevated community among all the other surrounding communities? These are all great questions to ask because with elevation comes views and privacy. Just this past weekend, I was showing a friend and now a client some new construction homes in Summerlin South. And for this particular buyer, privacy was the most important for her and for her family. She didn't want anyone looking into her backyard. Unfortunately, one of the communities that we were exploring and all the home sites that were currently available because it's a closeout sale were all home sites along the brand new clubhouse, which is much more elevated than their home site. And within their clubhouse, there was a residential path. So anyone walking in that upper residential path was able to look down into her backyard, and she did not want that. So we had to shift very quickly, eliminate that particular community, and look at other communities within that neighborhood. Now let's talk about orientation. A lot of my buyers are so surprised when I pull out my Google phone, open my Compass app, and for every home site, I would do a sun study for them. So what is a sun study? Don't you want to know which way your home faces? And if there is a more desirable direction your home faces, don't you want to know what that is? In Las Vegas, a north-south facing home site is much more desirable than a home site that has other direction. And here's why. Because we study the path of the sun. In Las Vegas, we have a lot of sunshine. In fact, we have over 300 days of sunshine in Las Vegas. So you need to be mindful of the sun, the natural light, and also the amount of heat your home would absorb. When you have a north-south facing home, the side of your home will have a lot more sun compared to the front and the back of your home. Orientation does not show up in your purchase agreement line item. However, when you're looking at a resale value, it's so important to know the orientation of your home. I have buyers that love a lot of natural light, and I also have buyers that don't like any light. In fact, they're so sensitive that they want to put blackout shades in their primary bedroom. By understanding my client's lifestyle and habits on sun sensitivity, I could advise them on that perfect floor plan, on that perfect home site, depending depending on the direction it's facing. Now, moving on to noise. A lot of my buyers don't really think about noise when it comes to selecting their home sites. And to me, that's one of the biggest things that's important for me. When it comes to a new construction community, it's very difficult because the surrounding areas are also being developed. For me, as your buyer's agent, I need to know exactly what is going to be built adjacent to and around your new construction neighborhood. That's when the zoning map comes handy. And also, by talking to your sales contact, they'll be able to share with you information on what's coming soon in that particular area. Let me give you an example. Most recently, I had a local buyer who was interested in a new construction community in Summerlin West. We explored the model homes and we absolutely liked it, and we started looking at some of the home sites. Then we realized that this new community was going to be adjacent to a future elementary school. Now let's think about it for a second. If you have a brand new elementary school right next to your home site, what kind of noise are you going to hear? And what kind of traffic are you going to experience? Those are the questions I want my buyers to think about. Would the bell bother you throughout the day? Would the traffic of the car line of all these moms and dads trying to pick up their kids bother you right outside of your new construction community? Well, after we had that conversation, my buyers looked at me and said, Kaori, this is not the home site for us. And I agree. Let me give you another example. All the home sites in Ascension community in South Summerlin, a new construction community by Toll and Pulte, all along Town Center, are going to hear some noise because Town Center is eventually going to be a busy street. Now, the benefit of a home site on Town Center facing east are potential strip views and city views from the second floor. So at that point, I need to ask my buyers, are strip views more important for you versus the street noise that you're going to be hearing potentially in your backyard and in your great room? These are the conversations I have with my clients when we're discovering home sites. And lastly, if you're in a new construction community site, again, asking the salespeople what you're adjacent to is very important. Let's say you're adjacent to a brand new sports park that is going to be featuring baseball fields and soccer fields. Not only do you have to think about noise pollution, you also have to think about light pollution as well. If you have a massive soccer field right next to you and those big lights are shining into your backyard, would you like that when you're trying to enjoy a peaceful evening in your backyard or in your great room? Those are key questions to ask when selecting a home site. Last point number 3, contracts, timing, and deposits. It is so important for me as your buyer's agent to go over deposits, when it's due, and when it becomes non-refundable. When buyers hear deposits, many buyers often assume that it's an earnest money deposit, like resale transactions, that is refundable for a certain period of time. In new construction, it's very different. Most builder deposits are non-refundable. They usually become non-refundable after you've signed the purchase agreement and after you've had 5 business days to review the CCNRs or the resale HOA package. If you're financing, you may have additional 30 days to get that earnest money deposit refundable in the event you don't qualify for a loan. But as you know, you need to get pre-qualified in order to get into a purchase agreement, so that does not happen often. Builder deposits are usually a percentage of the base price, the lot premium, structural upgrades, as well as design center upgrades. All of these deposits are tied to a milestone, not to buyer's satisfaction. Your deposits are locked in and are non-refundable in the event you change your mind and cancel a new construction purchase agreement. What's at risk is all the deposits that you made to the builder. And in new construction, builders could give you an estimate on how long your home is going to take to build. On average, it ranges anywhere from 6 to 12 months. Larger homes may be beyond 12 months. And of course, when it comes to semi-custom and custom homes, that timeline could be even more. However, that is only an estimated completion date and delays could happen. And with delays, there's going to be impact, especially if you're financing. During that time of delay, interest rates can change, market conditions can shift, and even appraised value could move. Buyers often don't account for the following: rate lock expiration, payment shock at completion, and what happens if the market softens before closing. This is where strategy matters so much before signing that purchase agreement. Currently, I am negotiating with a builder for a buyer that is ready to sign the purchase agreement for a new construction home in Summerlin West. We're assuming that this particular spec home would be ready in the next 60 days. However, what if there are delays? And what if my buyer decides to do a rate lock right now and that rate lock is only valid for the next 60 days? Then what? Extensions cost money, and so right now we are negotiating with the lender. In the event of a delay, we want the lender to cover any extension costs. If you've ever built a new construction home, what surprised you the most when it comes to costs? Was it the design upgrades, the lot premium, or something else? Comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Now, how can buyers protect themselves from overspending? My smartest buyers know how to slow down the process and ask the right questions. And these are some of the questions I have them ask. Which costs are mandatory versus optional? When do deposits become non-refundable? What decisions cannot be changed later? What upgrades impact resale value? An experienced buyer's agent in new construction can help and guide buyers with the following. Identify where spending actually matters, push back where flexibility exists, avoid emotional pressure-driven decisions, and plan upgrades with both lifestyle and resale in mind. Being intentional allows you to enjoy your dream brand new construction home and protect your financial position. If you want more tips on buying new construction homes or relocating to Las Vegas, make sure you check out one of the videos surrounding me. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for finding me. It'll make me really happy if you could smash that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you're made aware of my weekly content. My new goal is 100,000 subscribers. If you found this video educational, please share it with your family and friends. Thank you so much for watching, and I cannot wait to see you on the next one.